They say life can flip on you in a heartbeat. 1 second you're just trying to survive. Next second, everything you thought you knew is straight up gone.
This story begins in a small, beat-up town on the edge of nowhere, America, the kind of place where dreams come to die and hope barely pays rent.
Meet Ethan Walker.
Ethan was 23, broke as hell, and tired of hearing the same old line.
Just be patient, man. Your time will come. Yeah, right. Patience didn't pay bills. Patience didn't put food on the table.
And patience sure as hell didn't fix a life that felt stuck on pause.
Ethan lived in a tiny apartment with cracked walls, a busted fan, and a mattress that felt like it had seen a war.
Every morning, he'd wake up to the sound of traffic and sirens, wondering how he ended up here.
He used to dream big. Like really big. Back in high school, people said he had potential. Teachers told him he was smart. Friends said he'd make it out. But life had other plans. His dad passed away when Ethan was 17.
His mom worked double shifts just to keep the lights on.
College dreams faded fast, replaced by late-night jobs and early morning exhaustion.
Now, Ethan worked at a rundown convenience store, pulling minimum wage and maximum stress.
And honestly, he hated it.
One rainy evening, after a brutal shift where a customer cussed him out over a broken soda machine, Ethan clocked out and stepped into the cold night.
Rain soaked his hoodie.
Neon lights reflected off the wet road.
The world felt heavy. That's it, he muttered. I'm done living like this.
He didn't know how he'd change his life.
He just knew something had to give.
As he walked home, he noticed something strange.
A black SUV, parked on the side of the road, engine still running. And standing next to it, a man in an expensive suit, arguing on the phone.
The guy looked out of place, like a millionaire lost in the wrong neighborhood.
Ethan tried to mind his own business. But then he heard it. A shout. A struggle. And the sound of something heavy hitting the ground. The suited man collapsed. Phone shattered. Suit soaked in rain. Not moving. Ethan froze. This wasn't his problem. He could walk away. Call someone. Pretend he saw nothing. In this city, people learned fast. Don't get involved. But something inside Ethan twisted. Damn it, he whispered. He ran over, checking the man's pulse. Still alive. Barely.
Ethan pulled out his phone with shaking hands and called 911.
As sirens echoed in the distance, the man suddenly grabbed Ethan's wrist. His grip was weak, but desperate. Listen to me, the man gasped. Whatever happens, don't let them take the case. Ethan blinked. What case? The man's eyes locked onto his. Trust no one. And then he passed out. Sirens arrived moments later. Paramedics rushed in. Police asked questions. Ethan told them everything. Or at least, most of it. They took the man away. The SUV was towed. The night returned to silence. Ethan stood there, rain dripping from his hair, heart racing. He thought that was the end of it. He was wrong. The next morning, Ethan woke up to loud knocking on his door. Not normal knocking. Aggressive. Urgent. He opened the door slowly. 2 men stood outside. Both dressed sharp. Both wearing expressions that screamed trouble. Ethan Walker, one of them asked. Yeah, that's me. The man smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Sir, we need to talk. Right now. Ethan's stomach dropped. How do you know my name? The second man stepped forward. You helped someone last night. Someone very important. Ethan swallowed hard. Where is the case? The first man asked. Ethan stared at them, confused and scared. I don't know what you're talking about. The smile vanished. That's not good, the man said quietly. Because your life kinda depends on it.
And in that moment, Ethan realized one terrifying truth.
By doing the right thing,
He had stepped into a world far bigger
and darker. Ethan didn't invite them in. Not because he was brave,
but because fear had glued his feet to the floor. The rain-soaked hallway felt smaller now. The air was thick, like something bad was about to go down. I already told the cops everything I know, Ethan said, trying to sound chill, even though his heart was straight up losing its mind. The taller guy smirked.
Yeah, we know. That's when Ethan realized something was seriously off. If they already knew, why were they here? The second guy stepped closer, lowering his voice. Look, kid. Let's not play games.
The man you helped last night isn't just some guy.
He's a big deal. How big? Ethan asked.
The man laughed softly.
Big enough that people kill for what he owns. Ethan's throat went dry. I don't have anything, he said. No case, no money, nothing.
The tall guy tilted his head, studying Ethan like a broken tool.
Funny thing is, he said, he trusted you. Ethan snapped. I don't even know his name.
The smile disappeared again.
That's your problem.
Suddenly, the tall guy shoved Ethan back into the apartment.
Hard. Ethan stumbled, crashing into the table.
His lamp fell, glass shattering across the floor.
Hey! What the hell?
The second man slammed the door shut behind them.
You got two options, the tall guy said calmly. You cooperate, or you make this harder than it needs to be. Ethan's mind raced. This wasn't some movie. This was real life.
I swear, Ethan said, voice shaking, I don't know anything about a case.
The second man sighed.
Search the place. They moved fast, flipping cushions, checking drawers, tearing through his tiny apartment like it was nothing.
Ethan watched helplessly as his life got ripped apart in under 60 seconds. Then, boss, the second guy said. Found something. Ethan's heart sank. From beneath the mattress.
The man pulled out a black leather case.
Ethan stared at it.
What the? I've never seen that before.
The tall guy's eyes lit up. There it is.
Ethan shook his head wildly.
That's not mine. I swear.
The tall guy crouched down, face inches from Ethan's.
Doesn't matter whose it is, he said coldly. It's in your house. He reached for the case. And that's when everything went sideways. A loud bang echoed through the hallway. The apartment door exploded inward. Police! Don't move! Red and blue lights flooded the room.
The two men froze.
Ethan dropped to the floor instantly, hands over his head. Chaos followed. Shouts. Footsteps. Metal hitting the ground.
Within seconds, the two men were face down, cuffed, cussing under their breath.
An officer helped Ethan up. You okay, son? Ethan nodded, still shaking. What is going on?
The officer exchanged a look with his partner.
You just became part of something real ugly.
They took the case as evidence and escorted everyone out. Outside, neighbors watched from behind curtains.
Phones recorded everything. Ethan felt exposed. Naked.
At the station, hours passed.
Questions. Paperwork. Silence. Finally, a detective walked in. Older guy. Calm eyes. Tired face. Name's Detective Harris, he said, sitting down. You saved a man's life last night. Is he okay? Ethan asked. Harris nodded. Alive. For now. Ethan leaned forward. Who is he? Harris paused. Ever heard of Victor Kane? Ethan shook his head. He's a tech billionaire, Harris continued. Owns half the city, controls the other half. Ethan laughed nervously. You're kidding. I wish I was. Harris slid a photo across the table. It was the man from last night. Clean. Powerful. Deadly serious. That case you found? Harris said. It contains data worth billions. Blackmail. Secrets. Names. Ethan swallowed hard. And people want it bad. Real bad, Harris said. Ethan rubbed his face. So what happens to me? Harris leaned back. That depends on you. Ethan frowned. Depends how? You could walk away.